This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to Indie Live Radio this morning with me, Norrie Hunter, right through till 2 o'clock. It's 5 past 11, sorry. It's on Wednesday, the 28th of August. Blimey, where's time going? Good job. We don't start at 12. We'll never manage this. We have got madness going on in the studio today. We've got guests guests on the phone. We have Laura Gilmartin, Stop G5. We'll be asking why she is so opposed to G5 when a lot of people are thinking it might be the best thing for our internet systems. We've also got Glenn Reid earlier on in the afternoon. He's going to be talking about a new project up in Kintore in Aberdeenshire. Look forward to that. But before all that, we'll start with what we've got. Ava Max, Sweet But Psycho.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Ava Max, Sweet But Psycho. Yes, indeed. Sweet But Psycho is the word for the studio today. Loads of things happening, loads of bits of paper. Kev getting panicky about the sound coming out. I think it's all good. I think we'll get there in the end. Right, on to the first item. We've been getting some correspondence, let's say, loads of correspondence from Mr. Willie Todd in Stirling. And Willie's a pensioner now, but he's been taking his local council to task over the last few years about not getting the Scots Independent newspaper made available in the council libraries, rather. And he's now 70, and he sent us this stuff we might want to talk about, he says. Well, we have got another a newspaper, it's called The National, and if you know of any, this is I'm asking people out there, if you know of a library that doesn't stock the National newspaper, can you ask them why not? And then we'll give that back to the National, and we'll tell them to get in touch with the local authorities to see why they can put in position every other newspaper but the National. What are they afraid of? Why? So this is Willie Todd. He's wanting us to highlight this issue. So we've done that, Willie. Thanks very much. Bit of a stramash this morning with the daughter. Put this thing in her hair to get it curled. Got downstairs, uncurled her hair and didn't like it. She says, "Arg, I look like somebody from the 90s. She's 11. And then all hell broke loose. She wouldn't eat her breakfast. She was moaning her head off until putting Kirby's back in, tying it in a ponytail. Didn't like her hair. I was glad to get her off to school. And the other thing I saw today, you would not believe this. I saw a guy on a bike with a cup of coffee on one hand, and he had a fag on the other hand, and he was going up Hamilton Road, Bothwell Road into Hamilton. Loads of traffic. And I just thought, that is madness. That is madness. And he had the cigarette between his fingers and having his hand on the handlebar as well. And he went no hands to take a draw of his fag. Absolutely frightening. Not good for the nerves, that. Anyway, on with the show. Kylie Minogue. The locomotion.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Talking of here, I've just been reading something in the Stylist magazine. I get it free from the wee seller outside Central Station. And on page 22, the Western world's demand for human hair extensions is damaging more than just our scalp, they're saying. The hair is often taken from the heads of vulnerable women in conflict-ridden countries, including Ukraine and Venezuela. And now Myanmar has seen a growth in the hair trade, becoming the world's fourth largest exporter. Now, for some women in the Southeast Asian country, selling hair is an empowering and legitimate source of income. But as the country is mired in income inequality, many do so out of desperation. They can be offered as little as £9 for 10 inches of hair, which is then sold in the UK for hundreds of pounds. Traders recognise the profit potential, and women are sometimes attacked for their hair. To avoid being part of this harmful cycle, opt for extension companies that disclose the sources and ethics of their human hair, such as Great Lengths and Remy New York. Wow, I did not know people were being forced to have their hair cut so that people in Britain could have hair extensions. That is frightening. Woof. Maybe think twice about that, eh? Right. Now, the Walloper of the Week thing has gone mad. I put out a thing on Twitter. I says, look, Ruth Davidson, she's taken all the votes for Walloper of the Week. This can't be helped, but can we get, is that right? Can we get other ideas and just get in touch with me? Something like 80 odd people have retweeted that. And loads of ideas are coming in. And we'll be giving shout outs to those who give us an idea. I've got to say, Alex Cole, what's his name? Hamilton, for his efforts with second-hand recycled gossip, said Dr. Fudge is angry on Twitter. I'll get them all up and running after we have a bit of music that's been asked of me for a long time, and I've resisted the temptation. But I've got it here right in front of me. This is, and I play a lot of country music, you'll understand this because it's good. But this is old country. Old country. This is Kenny Rogers. This is The Gambler.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. Right, we've just had breaking news coming through that Boris Johnson has asked the Queen, or he's going to ask the Queen to suspend Parliament. That decision will cut dramatically the time MSPs will have to take action to prevent a no-deal Brexit. He's confirmed he's asked the Queen for permission to suspend Parliament for 5 weeks from early September. The Prime Minister claimed MPs would have ample time to debate Brexit, as he wrote to MPs on Wednesday night. This is a way of getting a hard Brexit through the back door, I think. And the Speaker of the House of Commons says it's unconstitutional. This is an outrage. Well, Mr. Bercow, there is no constitution in Britain. We don't have one. That's why he's able to do this. So this is dangerous stuff. We're not getting a chance to debate this. Asked if he was denying opposition MPs the time to stop a no-deal Brexit, the Prime Minister told Sky News, "No, that is completely untrue. We are bringing forward a new legislative programme on crime hospitals, making sure we have the education funding we need. I write." In the letter he's written a letter here. I'm not going to read it all out. It's just a load of baloney. I'm not going to go near that. Put it another way, government to hold a Queen's speech just as all new governments do. That's James Cleverly. He's on his side, of course. Labour's Deputy Leader Tom Watson called the move an utterly scandalous affront to our democracy. We cannot let this happen. It'll go later to, I don't know, if the Queen has to laugh. You know this, a 96-year-old tiny wee woman has got the say over this. No, this is going to go. This is bizarre. This is madness. A meeting of opposition MPs convened by Jeremy Corbyn agreed on Tuesday to let legislative efforts take priority over a confidence vote in the new government as a mechanism to stop no deal. A priority that could be changed given the curtailing of the parliamentary timetable. Well, it's all happening in Westminster. This is after, of course, the opposition parties coming together, putting all the differences aside, trying to get a vote of no confidence in Boris Johnson, but he's beaten him. He's off the mark quicker. He's away to the Queen. Whew, this is getting, this is getting frightening. This is really frightening when democracy is abandoned for party ideology. This is, we'll pay for this. We will pay for this. Don't know what to say. I'm quite shocked, actually. It's just myself on today. Kev might come on and join me later on. Now, the Walloper of the Week, tone things down a wee bit. Walloper of the Week, I asked you for your nominations, and they've been coming in thick and fast. Graham Laurie, good friend of the station, has said, have to say, Norrie, the likes of Ruthie should be retired into Hall of Fame for permanent Wallopers. Give the rest a chance to display their undoubted talents. Cole Hamilton storming it, but the Brunosaurus could be making a late bid with his usual regurgitated mints. Had to give that one a mention on here. That's Graham Laurie. Alan Campbell up in Inverness says, yep, it's Hamilton. He's got some nastier words I can't say in here. Scotland's Unicorn says, got to be Cole Hamilton after his SNP Lerwick lie, surely. Lorraine Mollen says, Alex Cole Hamilton's pants are burning right now. D Scattered up in Inverness says, Alex Cole Hamilton. Calls, COLZ, calls 261, he says, it's got to be Murdo. Got to be Murdo. Word Mentalist has said, doesn't it work like the World Cup then? Once you've won the title 5 times, you get to keep it or something like that. I'll stick with Ruth every week until she's gone. Peter, where's Peter? Doesn't say where Peter's from. Alexandria. Peter says Alex Cole Hamilton. We'll get through a lot of them as the show goes on. Don't forget, give us your Walloper of the Week nomination. And we'll try and get some more stuff on this Boris Johnson going to meet the Queen to override Parliament. He's asking to suspend Parliament for 5 weeks to get his Brexit deal through. Because what he's saying is, it's the will of the people. It's a democratic vote. 51% voted for it. He's doing as he was mandated to do. And political parties shouldn't be getting in the way of that. Whoa, right, what have we got here? We've got to take a bit of I've got to get a bit of breath here. We'll put Hollow Notes on. I don't know. Private Eyes, that'll do. Keep us going for another 5 minutes.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Hall & Oates, Private Eyes. Now, Scotland is set for
This is IndieLive.radio.
First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has revealed a new plan that will put Scotland at the forefront of the 5G technological revolution. 5G is the next generation of mobile internet, offering faster speeds and enhanced connectivity that could transform transport, education, healthcare and agriculture, among other sectors. The plan, Forging Our Digital Future with 5G, sets out how the Scottish Government will work with industry, the regulator and other public sector bodies to make sure all of Scotland, including rural areas, benefit from the technology. Professor Chris Pearce, Dean of Research in the College of Science and Engineering at the University of Glasgow, said 5G is the next generation network technology which is faster, has the potential to revolutionise digital communications and create real social impact in Scotland. But what they haven't said in any of that is in the dangers that come with 5G. First of all, we need taller masts, and these masts are going to be up to, 50 metres tall. Trees and other tall vegetation can act as clutter and block those signals, so you're going to have to clear away the trees and the environment. Aren't our kids, do we need all this stuff? Our kids are addicted to their iPhones and their mobile phones and their iPads. Do we need it any faster? Is there more to this than meets the eye? Well, I'm going to speak to Stop 5G. I'm going to get Laura Gilmartin. I'm going to try and get her on the phone just in a minute. Let's see if I can get the right. Yes, here we go. I'll just get her on the phone.
Hi, Norrie.
Hi, good morning, Laura. I've just been speaking about, I'll just introduce you. You're Laura Gilmartin from Stop 5G.
Scotland.
Yes, indeed. And I've just been reading out the pros and cons of the... just been interrupted, sorry about that. The pros and cons of the 5G in the rural areas, which could see bigger and taller masts, I said. But there's a lot of pro messages coming out in 5G.
There's too many pro messages, Norrie, and not enough of the truth. This is the problem. Thank you off the bat for the opportunity to speak today.
No problem.
It's really important for the people of Scotland to be informed on and have knowledge of 5G and the impact that it's going to have in Scotland. And hopefully it will inspire people to do a wee bit of research.
Yeah.
When they get time, if not today. We have around 500 proper organisations in between 80, 90 countries resisting this.
Yes.
Like many other Scottish citizens, yes.
Indeed.
Like many other Scottish citizens, I'm extremely concerned at the pace that 5G technology is being rolled out without any public consultation. I mean, UK and parliamentary laws have been broken on every level to roll out this untested, uninsurable technology.
Yeah, can I just read out, Laura, can I just...
It's now been stopped in the municipality of Rome, Geneva,
yes,
where we've had reports of harm. Brussels, 2 cities in Ireland, parts of Australia, and 2 UK cities, both Glastonbury and Frome, have invoked the precautionary principle.
Right.
And the precautionary principle states that there is a social responsibility to protect the public from exposure to harm from technological advances.
Yeah, I'm just reading
when
that.
Scientific knowledge on the matter is lacking, or in this case, actually, where it's not lacking, when scientific investigation has found plausible risk.
Indeed. Now, see these risks to human beings. We're talking about quicker and higher intensity of frequency waves.
That's correct.
And I've been reading reports, Laura, correct me if I'm wrong, but even pregnant ladies have been under threat by just walking past these towers. Is that
That's
true?
correct, Norrie. That's correct, yes. Actually, there's enough scientific studies out there. And when I say scientific studies, I'm talking about independent, peer-reviewed, uncontested, I repeat, uncontested scientific studies that prove that this does affect us at the cellular level and causes cancer.
It causes cancer.
It does.
And there's other potential things that are positive, they say, but it's all done in a positive, like this stuff I've got. Just to make your listeners clear, we asked Professor Mohammed Imran of the University of Glasgow to come in to talk about this, but he refused to acknowledge our request.
Surprise, surprise.
Aye, so surprise, surprise. But they're going on about it's adding £17 billion to the GDP by 2035. It's creating 160,000 jobs, creating productivity, blah, 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 blah. But there are...
And with the new research coming in, warning officials to limit the rollout of the 5G-enabled LED streetlights after suggesting strong links to breast and prostate cancers. The blue phosphor-coated LED lights are said to disrupt the circadian rhythm, which in turn affects hormone levels. Now, both breast and prostate cancers are hormone-related.
That's right.
And PHE, Public Health England, have previously warned our city councils about these dangers.
Why do you think it's been swept under the carpet like this?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the parliamentary debate on the 5G health and safety.
I saw Digital Secretary Nicky Morgan.
Sonia Antonazzi and David Drew and other MPs getting involved. Well, it was actually brought up in Parliament that the telecom companies are threatening to sue our government.
Is this...
They've signed up to these agreements and they must go ahead.
Right, I'm just trying to check for this. Yes, this is Huawei, the Chinese company.
Yes, which we were previously warned about.
Yes. On the possible involvement of the Chinese firm Huawei in any role, it says, I would hope that we can do something by the autumn. That's quite quick, isn't it? Adding that it has to be a decision for the long term, making sure that we keep all our networks secure. So
that's quite funny because it's actually operating on a unsecured platform.
Yes.
The Zigbee platform. So, I mean, there's already major security issues. We've been warned about this. Five Eyes were not in Glasgow for nothing.
Aye.
You know?
Yeah.
It wasn't stopped, but Huawei weren't stopped by America for no reason, you know?
Yes, indeed.
And we are having a huge global fight back over this. But what really concerns me, as you say, Norrie, again, it's a lack of knowledge.
Aye.
People are still unaware that Lloyd's of London, the last stop shop for insurance, now refuse to provide covers for health claims related to smart meters and Wi-Fi and mobile technology and skills. So are they expecting large numbers of future claims?
Aha.
You know?
Yes, indeed.
And so what this now means for the schools is that they now need to make their own insurance arrangements to cover future claims for children or staff. But most schools are unaware of their personal liability.
What's the biggest fear you've got then, Laura? Is it the masts? Is it the fibre? The
We're going to be surrounded, Norrie. Even those that don't choose to use the 5G signal, we are going to be encased and bombarded with this signal. And what my concern is the children. The children and the pets absorb 60% more radiation than adults due to their blood-brain barrier being so thin their small skulls, which are still forming.
60%.
Now, France have banned all Wi-Fi in nurseries and schools, while plans are in place to supply Scottish schools with iPads. And please bear in mind that women and children were not taken into consideration during any safety testing. And again, exposure limits were for 6 minutes only.
Wow.
Not 24/7 exposure to 3G, 4G, and now in addition will be 5G.
Now, we had 3G. Did we have the same problems with 3G, then 4G, and now we're going to get them exacerbated with 5G? Is that how it works?
Well, no. The problem is with 3G and 4G, we're already swimming in enough radiation soup.
Right.
We should be dealing with the radiation that we've got right now. 5G, however, is another ballgame.
Right. Is that taking it to another level? Because we're getting new, bigger masts, completely bigger masts. We're getting faster broadband, which means you're going to have higher frequencies than earlier mobile networks, because they're wanting to allow more devices to have access to the internet at the same time and at faster speeds.
That's right. But what they're not telling the public is of the 3D scanning capabilities that these 5G enabled LED lights and infrastructure have. They are able to 3D map an urban environment for up to 3 miles.
How do we get the message out, Laura, then, to remote communities who have no broadband in the Highlands, for example, and are looking at this way as to trying to save their livelihoods, because if they can sell something on the internet, they've got a better chance of surviving?
I understand that, I do. I mean, I totally get that. But I mean, this is a lie. This is not about telecommunications. You're not going to get any faster signal. There will be no faster signal. You will not see an improvement from 4G. 5G is all about autonomy. Smart city plans and their autonomous vehicles.
Well,
5G was never intended for civilian population.
I've got a bit here. It's from Nicola Sturgeon at this meeting. She's going, the potential uses of 5G technology include, I'm quoting here, using in-home sensors to monitor patient health, capturing real-time health data and reducing the need for recently discharged patients to return to hospital for checkups. One that affects me, measuring blood glucose levels non-invasively with results displayed on a smartphone. These, on the face of it, look like positives, don't they?
Well, I suppose so. I mean, when you don't know much about radiation, if you haven't looked into 5G, then you would probably think, oh, great, I'm in a rural area, I can get my test results without travelling.
Aye, that's exactly what...
Is it really, really worth it?
Aye. Now, we've
seen the Stronzy protest. The children are off school in protest in Stronzy because of the recent erection of the 5G mast, where the parents are keeping the kids off school in protest due to health and safety concerns until the mast is removed. And quite rightly so, I say, after the protest in Ripon, California, where the parents did get the 5G mast removed eventually. However, unfortunately, 2 teachers and 5 kids were diagnosed with cancer in the process before that 5G mast was removed. And that's why it's important to act now.
Absolutely.
We cannot wait for an accumulative effect.
Now, if anyone's concerned about this, how do they get in touch with you, or how do they get more information? Have you got a Facebook page? Have you got a website?
Yes.
How do we get to you?
Yes, you can get me on Facebook at Stop 5G Scotland. We also have a Twitter page. And there are a bunch of groups. We actually have a city group for each city in the UK as well.
And, you know, the thing is, all political parties are, I'm just going to read the Tories are for it, because Digital Secretary Nicky Morgan, she's launched a consultation on the plans and said slightly taller masts would mean they could carry more equipment and potentially stop the proliferation of other masts. I don't know how she works that one out. The Labour Party are saying bolder plans are needed to boost the UK's digital infrastructure. So they're all getting behind this, Laura. It's a hard sell for you, isn't it?
It is. But a point I'm going to make here is this goes against the whole of the Nuremberg Code. The Nuremberg Treaty states that no human being will be experimented upon without his or her consent. And before they give consent, they have the legal right to understand all implications, health problems and future health problems. And they have the legal capacity to say no. They can invoke the Nuremberg Treaty and say, I do not wish to be a part of this global experiment. We have signed the treaty and therefore you are breaking international laws.
Well, you know this, governments seldom do that. They always look at the profit margin first and then they look at people later.
This is the problem.
And it's a problem.
It's profit before health. Profit before health. And this is all we ever see.
Well, what we'll do, hopefully we've highlighted the case for to stop this 5G rollout.
I hope so, Norrie.
I think so. We'll be checking the chat box and the Twitter page just to see how people are getting on. I'll just ask them out there. People, what do you think of this? Are you now concerned about the rollout of 5G, or are you still excited about it, knowing the facts of radiation and cancer that it can cause? Not just that, but our environment's going to be absolutely damaged because these masts are going to cut down trees to get their signal out.
That's correct. We've already seen plenty of culling. Yes, we've seen that. Also, I mean, the damage that this radiation is actually doing to the trees. Mm-hmm. I think they're cutting many down so that we don't see that damage. I think they're cutting them down as well, Laura, so that they don't burn and they don't have forest fires, because these microwaves that they put out are very, very hot. So they have to. It's a fire hazard too, and that could never do. Correct. That's correct. If you look at the side of the masts, Norrie, you'll see a Memo tank. This is a massive fan generator. That's not to tickle your phone. It's not to tickle your phone. That's to cool that down. That's a great point. Great point, Laura. I forgot about that. Yeah, the Meno tanks, that's right. I was looking at that last night and wondered, what the heck, you know? Well, I'll tell you what, from somebody who's, I'll be quite honest, with somebody who has got my phone and sometimes I can't get a proper signal, I'm thinking, if you can get me faster signal, brilliant. This is the digital age. When I started reading this stuff, Laura, I got a shiver down my spine. I thought, well, there's a cost to pay for this. And it's a cost we're not looking at. Yep, exactly. And I hate to be the one to bring up Christmas, but it's not far off. And many people will be buying devices that are 5G enabled without the knowledge of the health and safety risks, which is a major concern. I don't know if you're aware of Mark Steele, the military weapons expert and ex-head of display, who actually broke cover in Gateshead to expose the 5G as a weapon system. No, I didn't read that. As I say, it's used in the military for crowd control and was never intended for civilian population. Gateshead City Council took Mark Steele to court to try to place a gagging order on him. However, the judge, QC Nolan, said that in Mr Steele's qualified capacity, he has the right to warn the public. And Judge QC Nolan also stated the council must debate the 5G issue. To date, this has still not been done. Wow. Now Mark Steele has actually filed legal action with Gateshead City Council for the denial of 5G and rolling out a weapon system. So we'll wait and see how that goes, because a 5-year-old boy died of a rare heart cancer, and that heart cancer is only ever attributed to radar operators. Well. Listen, Laura, you've been fantastic. Thanks so much for coming on the live radio. We've got to cut it short there, I'm afraid. But thanks for having me, Norrie. No, it's been great having you, Laura. And maybe sometime we'll get you back in the studio as things happen later, particularly after these court appearances. And that would be fantastic. Yeah, always welcome, Laura. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thanks very much. Right, bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Whoa, there you go. That was. Gee whiz. That is Laura Kilmartin telling us about the issues on 5G. We did ask the Glasgow University people who are putting this out, the researchers, Professor Mohammed Imran, to come in, chat about this. Didn't get any response from him. So Laura told us on her own how it is for her. Stop 5G. Don't forget, you'll find them on Facebook and Twitter. This is Carrie Underwood. This is Southbound.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Well, let's carry Underwood southbound. Oh. And we've just got Laura Gilmartin. Very big thanks to Laura for coming on to talk about 5G. Really, really interesting stuff. On the chat box, we mentioned the Queen suspending Parliament, or trying to. Ronnie's saying, so Bojo might be asking the Queen to suspend Parliament. Welcome to the dictatorship, indeed. And he's saying, hi folks. Hi to you, Ronnie. Paul, see, that was a bit weird with the newsreader voice changing. It's just the Gremlins, Paul. You know the script, mate. Don't know if this is true in all streams, but Norrie's voice is slightly clipped. Is it peaking? Looking forward to another good show today. JJ thinks it's a little distorted. I just think you've had a beer too many, JJ. Ray Sandra's just walked into the room and said, what's up with Norrie's audio, Ronnie? Rough here, but like Monday, gradually improves. We'll get that fixed. Ronnie, just sound a bit clipping due to high gain. I'm not ready to take, so not that I know of what I speak. Music's fine though. Anyway, I'm here for the content, not the technicalities. Right, Kev's having a nervous breakdown. He's trying to fix it. We'll put the gain down a wee bit, see if the voice gets any better. I don't know. Now, obviously, you need a new surround sound, JJ. Yes, indeed. It could be at your end. We don't know. Could be at our end. They get that subwoofer ramped up. Thanks for the reminder. Need to ask Norrie to play Manic Street Preachers. If you tolerate then you children will be next. Absolutely, JJ. Never was a tune well written for this show on that occasion. I don't know if that was in relation to the G5 or the Queen shutting down Parliament. Probably Queen shutting down Parliament, I guess. Massive tangent. All the Brexit stuff going on at the moment, and for at least my 3 years, my boy and my mate made the song about the whole shenanigans. Right, we'll have a look at that later. Not today because we're so busy trying to fix sound out and everything else. Let's see. Oh, no deal Brexit is now inevitable. Time to ask, says Angus. Indeed. Let's see. Loads of messages coming out. It's brilliant. It's not been sold as new government, so no need for a Queen's speech. The question is whether the Queen has agreed. I agree with you, Paul. But what will she do? What will she do? Is she allowed to say no, says Ronnie? That's another good question. We're on uncharted territories. JJ, this is no laughing matter. He says, I'm on 6G right now. Now, listen, that was an amazing discussion with Laura on these things. So, let's get back. Look what the cat's dragged in. We've got Andy Coyle. Welcome, Andy. I'm just getting through all these bits and pieces. It's been a very quick morning. Blimey!
Is it still morning?
It's still 10 to 12.
It is morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Can I just mention the sound thing at the moment? See, every time I hear the show, it sounds fantastic.
See, there you go.
So, it might not be the gain. You can't have enough gain.
But
I love the gain.
You love gain.
Yes.
It's all about the bass.
It's all about the bass, yes.
No
I think
trouble.
it sounds great. I mean, I hear these on my phone, on my tablet, on my laptop when I move about, and on my big fancy dancy telly. So,
well, that's good to know, Andy.
I suppose all individual, I suppose.
That's right.
I think it sounds fine.
Now, Andy, where have you been hiding, mate?
I've been got to earn the corn
Aye.
to stave off Brexit.
Stave off Brexit.
Yes, I'm nothing all the way like a hamster for winter.
Aye, and in fact, you're lucky you've got work to go to.
Yes, there is that thing. Yes, at the moment.
I was speaking to some people yesterday. A guy that noticed my T-shirt. I was wearing a Commonweal T-shirt, and he spoke. This guy was Jason, and he was telling me about the poverty in Hamilton. And I says, "Yeah, I can see it. It's all around me. I can see it, mate." And there's people just wondering about like zombies, like some subhuman, really worried about their next day's food, electricity. No sign of work. Everybody's scrambling for this no hours contract work that they're getting. When you can, if you can, it's a nightmare out there.
There's 0 hour contracts.
Yeah,
disgusting.
Absolutely.
I mean, the way I feel about that is that, let's say Hamilton, Easthouse, Gorbals, Govan, everywhere has an area that has something that's destitute. But people are thinking the councils can only do their best. MPs don't do their best. That'll always be like that. Well, it doesn't have to be, though.
Doesn't have to be. No.
Doesn't have to be. It can be upbeat and more positive.
It can be, but when you see Boris Johnson undermining democracy at the highest level,
yes.
I mean, Andy, I can't even laugh at it now. No, this is no deal on the cards if it doesn't get stopped.
What is the answer for Scotland, though? How soon or what can we do that's going to get recognised worldwide as a country?
Well, here's the deal. Everybody, we've had guests come on right through for the last 4 weeks saying the SNP should be concentrating independence and never mind sorting England's Brexit mess. Here's the thing. If you want Scotland to be independent, how would you like your neighbour to be? A Brexit narrow nationalist, if you like, looking inward, with lots of poverty and austerity? Or would you like your neighbour to be non-Brexited, with a deal at least, so that you can at least do some kind of trade with them, some kind of diplomacy with them? If you can't do that, what would you prefer?
So, the way I see it, it's right now it's not. It's heading towards the other basket case neighbour, who, like you said there, inward thinking, just not caring, hard border, that kind of thing.
Aye.
Right now we're not out of the UK. Right now we're still in the UK.
That's right.
So we have to take part in the process.
Yes.
And we have to it's very big, keep us in the EU, because you're right. If England and Wales are still in the EU and they're not that banana republic that they're heading towards, then it's all better for Scotland when they are independent. Now, if we have an England who aren't independent, who are still in the England-Wales Union, whatever you call it,
the Ruck,
the Ruck, yes, and we're just Scotland. You're right. It's going to cause all sorts of issues, but there is an element of me saying we shouldn't care about what happens in England, because we have our own ports and our own things to worry about.
Yeah.
We'll have to worry about our own things. And us worrying about England as Scotland should be like right down the line of things.
And you know what?
But while we're still part of the UK, then we have to look after our own interests via that process.
that process, indeed. And you've got so many people in England seriously thinking about relocating to Scotland. You've seen everybody, just whoever they are, and if they can, try and dig out an Irish passport. You've seen people moving from Polish people moving back to Poland.
Yeah.
We're losing people right, left, and centre. Scotland is. We've played these. This is Europe. You're welcome, and all the rest of it. Those audios we play sound quite hollow now. when already people are starting to leave, and they were looking for the Scottish government to step in and help.
It's destroyed. It is hollow because it's UK based, isn't it?
It's UK based. Right, let's take a bit of a break for a bit of music. Lloyd Cole and the Commotions, Rattlesnakes, back after this shortly. If I can just load it up, here it is now.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
I know, fine, we're good.
I like to block out noise.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music.
Well,
Tune in
heard,
to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Mike's going on and off, testing distortion and all the rest of it. Kevin having a hairy fit. Andy trying to relax him. We're coming up to the news. 20 odd seconds. We'll be going back to the Walloper of the Week suggestions that came in after the news at 12 o'clock, sorry. Oh, I'm losing track of time. John Martin's coming in, he's playing a wee bit, but he'll not be long, he's got 5 seconds to go, and then he's gone, he's kaput. Told you.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Calm down, man. He comes running towards me like a banshee, saying, "Oh, wait. Oh, I thought that level was up. We just need to all take a wee chill pill in the studio. Don't we, Andy?"
Yes. Like myself. Just chill.
Just chill. Now, Andy, you know the Walloper of the Week thing, how it goes.
Yes, it's excellent. Yeah.
He'll put it out on Twitter, and a lot of people are saying, don't discount Gordon Brown for the Walloper of the Week.
No, again, no, you can't. I mean, my Walloper of the Week was, well, it was either Alex Cole-Hamilton,
yeah,
Ruth again, because Ruth, why not? And Gordon Brown, because, you know.
Yeah, because it's, well, here he is in the news. Who is it? It's Kevin McKenna in the National's written a piece about him. Brown's view of our place in the Union is a miserable and dismal outlook. Why are we even speaking about this guy? Why is he getting space?
Because he used to be a Prime Minister and he was Scottish and his 2014 rant worked, didn't it? So they bring him out again.
That's true. And the other thing is, of course, I don't know if you've been keeping up to date with Shetland. The SNP were 40 odd points behind, and now they've reduced it to 4. Mm-hmm. But we're getting warnings that it looks like the Lib Dems will hold on to that seat in Shetland.
Yeah. See, I seen a thing yesterday, projection. It was given that one Lib Dem, one Labour, 3 Lib Dems, and the rest were SNP.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Well, you know,
I mean, there's still always going to be people who will not want what you want.
That's right.
So, you know, you're not going to get everything you want.
That's right. But they would have loved that seat, wouldn't they?
Oh, definitely.
Come on.
Oh, of course they would have, yeah.
But there's still time yet. We don't know how people are looking at this.
Don't know what's going to happen, yeah.
But just word from an ex-Shetlander who says he would not vote SNP. Mm-hmm. Independents, yes, SNP, no. And it's to do with wind farms and other things that are local to the Shetlanders.
Uh-huh.
And remember, it's only a small, relatively small community over a large landmass.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you get 200 people extra on your side, you could win that election.
Yeah.
You know, so it's touch and go.
What you said, there's a lot of people who are not SNP who want independence on the one banner. That's the thing.
Aye.
But to get us there, SNP at the moment has to be the one you vote for.
Aye.
And then once we have an independent Scotland, then we have our own general election, then who you vote for is who you vote for.
Yeah, and you'll get a chance to affect that vote because
course,
it's a Scottish-wide vote. And we'll have all the votes, not just 50.
In my workplace, 57? I train a lot of people who aren't your expected yes voter. Like last week, for instance, it was a unionist, I'm going to say it because it has to be said, Rangers fan who people think aren't yes voters. But this guy was, he thought a majority within Rangers fans. Yet the way he was talking was he's very much for yes because Rangers are a Scottish club, brought with Scottish values, Scottish ways.
Well,
but
that's interesting.
I'm talking to you just now, and there's people listening probably thinking, no, not a chance.
No.
Whereas that is a thing. There are people out there who don't like SNP. He didn't like SNP, but he will vote for SNP to get the independence message out and get it there. Eventually, then he'll vote for who he wants to vote for.
Aye, exactly.
But there's a lot of people like that.
See, there's a logical way of thinking about it, and there's a head in the sand way of looking at it.
Yeah.
If you're going to look at it in tribal ways, you know, like, well, that's my crowd over there, and that's who I'll vote for because I'm safe in that crowd. And other people who are probably more knowledgeable about politics will go, wait a minute, my wages are going down, prices are going up, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to vote for this. Yeah. And I was this in Hamilton yesterday. Really good discussion with a few folk gathered round in the square with me. 'Cause this is what I do. This guy liked my T-shirt, and before you know it, there's about 4 or 5 people. Anyway, the other thing was that people are now looking at the Brexit thing, the No Deal, independence, all those things, and they're not looking at them from a party political angle.
No.
Party politics is gone. They're looking at their own family, what's best for my family, and it's kicking in with lack of medicines, lack of food, lack of knowledge of what's going to happen. We don't know if as soon as Brexit hits, those lorries will be stopped at Dover, waiting to get over to Cali. Different regulations, different structures, no mechanism how to fix them all. That means food will take longer and slower to get across.
Yep.
And who's most furthest away from those markets? Scotland.
Yeah. Less fresh food as well.
Less fresh food as well.
The thing with that as well is I'm thinking, it's that you said that there about that people wait till it comes to the very worst. I mean, that to me is bizarre because you can see it coming. Yeah, I think that's a strange thing. Wait to see what happens. Well, we kind of know what's going to happen. We've all kind of worked it out. Even the government's own reports have said.
Yep, the Yellowhammer report was devastating.
I know they said that worst case scenario, but that could happen.
Worst case scenario
as it could happen.
Yeah.
So why are we even thinking about it?
Exactly.
You know?
The thing is, Andy, and I said this to a few folk as well. We're not in a war.
No.
We're not in an environmental catastrophe.
No.
This is all self-made. This is all madness. This is like, we're still, one of the things, and I'll get back to this after Adam Sutherland plays a few tunes, but Ireland, I'm going to talk about Ireland after this. Adam Sutherland, Throb the Robot, Rosie Shanda, Grantown. A couple of tunes to keep you going. And then let's talk about Ireland with Andy.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Over the last week, Andy, I don't know if you've been working, I'm not sure what news you've been able to hear, but Boris Johnson has put on alert that British police should be put in the streets of Northern Ireland. A lot of people are coming on saying, it's devolved. Policing's devolved. You can't do that. And we looked it up. If Britain becomes, let's get this right, becomes in a state of emergency, because there's war and there's lack of food, and it could happen, They can pull back the powers of Holyrood and close it down, and call a state of emergency and pull everybody together. Mm-hmm. People aren't aware of this.
Well, they closed Stormont, didn't they? Stormont's closed.
Yeah, but
it's different. I know, but it just means they can still take it back.
Well, that's right.
That isn't even a state of emergency. That's not an emergency. That's like, well, we'll control you from here again because you don't know what you're doing, or you've all fell out, or whatever.
Well,
the police, though, the police go to Northern Ireland from Scotland, although it is wrong, they can still do it.
Yeah.
But the state of emergency thing is they're claiming then the state of emergency in Northern Ireland.
And the thing is, on Twitter, I honestly, I counted them up. There must be about 12, 14 and rising people saying, if the SNP allow this to happen, they will stop being a member.
But they can't help it. They have no option whatsoever to. They can't say you're not getting our police because it's not. Although it is our police, it's not our police. Do you know what devolved parliaments are? To the UK government, they're like a gift. They're a gift that they can take away any minute.
That's right.
If you're a naughty boy,
exactly.
sort of thing. So Scotland, they can quite rightly give 300 Scots police to Northern Ireland. They can do it because the UK police ultimately, and that's how they see it.
That's how they see it.
I'm not saying it's right, but that's the way it is. And that's how they see it. For the people then say, "I'm not voting SNP." The SNP have no option in the whole thing. They can't say, "Oh, we're keeping our men here." They can't do it. They can't do it.
Exactly. So you have to wise up on that one, folks. Now, the Walloper Week, I'm going to see if I can get through these, Andy. Joe Salstrom is saying wouldn't give her any type of publicity. Talking about Ruth Davidson as a Walloper.
No.
Alison Doran says has to be Alex Cole-Hamilton. He comes out with some pure guff, none more so than this week.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more, Alison. Angela says another vote for that's what's his name?
Alex Cole-Hamilton.
Alex Cole-Hamilton. The only time I'll ever vote Lib Dem. Indeed.
Well, very good.
Pamela Morrison, any Lib Dem politician as their new normal is full of disingenuous deceit.
Oh, nice.
Take your pick.
There's a word.
Well, here's a new one. John Lynch has said the Broon interventionist, new word. I really like that, John.
I like that. That's good.
You've been on, you've said Alex Cole-Hamilton.
Did I?
You did,
I remember that well.
Anne Adams, Alex Cole-Hamilton must be top contender. Phoebe McPherson. I like that. Well, at least we get a laugh with this Walloper. One came on, Andy, and said, do you have to persevere with this negativity? Couldn't we have a positive awards for somebody who does good? And I thought, no, don't fancy
we could, though, but you know it's going to be like
a backslapping thing, you know.
A backslapping. Well, it's going to be as bad as Mandel with his Boris Johnson. And Davison.
Yeah, or Ross Thompson.
Ross Thompson,
he's worse, isn't he? He is. Oh, midden. Anne-Marie Baxter, Gordon the Ancient Walloper Brown. Well, he has been mentioned. LMR says Alex Cole-Hamilton's got to be a contender.
No, I think there's a tie between Brown and Hamilton, I think.
Well, here comes a different one. Michael McCabe has said, where's Michael from? I'll just find out. Michael is in, I don't know where he is. Just go back. He's saying, what's he saying? My vote goes to the Invisible Man.
Oh, nice.
David Mundell.
Yes.
The reason he has never resigned is he has been told that if he did that they would release the photos of him caught in the walloping process. It has been rumoured. Well,
moving swiftly on from there.
What can you say?
Oh, you paint a picture. Thanks very much for that.
Yeah, I know. I did get something to drink now. Sursa, Isle of Butte. I like this one. Could you drop that award in favour? This is the one. Award in favour of something more positive. Activist of the week or best indie dog pick. Anything to get away from relentless negativity. Thoughts on that one?
Are we negative?
Andy?
Do you think?
No.
I don't think we're negative. I think we're just telling you
who is
things
negative.
Things that are happening, and if it happens to be negative stuff, it is negative stuff.
Yeah.
There's a good thing happening the weekend at the Musselburgh or at the Busker. I think Busker Festival or something in Portobello.
Yep.
There you go. Saturday. Get there. Go and say hello to the stand.
Me and Kev put out lots of positive stuff. Honestly,
of course
we do.
Yeah.
But this is just a bit of fun. And look, Jude has said Alex Cole-Hamilton. Dr. Fudge is angry. I don't know who this guy is, but
read this carefully.
I know. I overheard in Lerwick that Cole-Hamilton could be a contender for Walloper of the Week. Wow.
Yes. What do you think of that, though? Do you think Alex Cole-Hamilton came out with what he said, overheard? That overheard thing, that's a bit kind of... Well, it's creepy for a start, right? But it's a bit kind of...
He said that the young people, didn't go up the tenement stairs.
They're too lazy.
Because they were too lazy or something.
So he's saying that young people are too lazy.
Aye.
He's assuming with that, because he made that up, obviously, right? So, but he's put young people.
He did.
Rather than saying people or activists or whatever you want to call it. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And people have been putting on Twitter big pictures of big skylines, New York. Have you canvassed this area yet, Alex? Because there's no high-rise flats or no tenement stairs.
Well, there's no.
It's all houses and, 2 up, 2 down is max, I would guess, over there. I've been to Shetland. Have you been to Shetland?
Shetland, the highest I've been up to my chagrin is Bucky.
Oh, it's a lot.
I'm not further up than that. Bucky's been it. I should go further, but Bucky's been it.
I was lucky working offshore. Used to get the plane into Shetland somewhere and then just go further up and then get a fixed a helicopter off. But sometimes you've got 3 or 4 days on Shetland.